All right, we now have all the blocks we need to make our sprite jump. The sprite should jump if it's on the ground, and we press the up key, and then it's going to move back down when it gets to the top of the jump. So find the if statement that checks whether the sprite is on the ground. That's this if statement here, if the frog is on the ground. If frog.y is greater than 324. You can see here, y.324 is around here. So if the frog is here or below, it's going to think it's on the ground. While it's on the ground, key went down up. So if we press the up key, we want the frog to move up. So we're going to make the frog jump up when the user presses the up arrow key. So we go to sprites, sprite velocity y, frog.velocity y gets -2. We'll make it move up. Or else we want it to stop moving otherwise. So else, make the frog stop moving. Think about that. If negative makes it move up, positive makes it move down, what number is going to make it stop? 0. Cool. So now when I run this code, I press the up arrow, it moves up. So now what I need to do is to set a limit. If the frog gets high enough, send it back down. Check whether the sprite has reached its highest point, and if so, make it go back down. So this is however high you want the sprite to go. If you want it to be limited to 150, 100, it's your choice. But the way we would do this is set up another if. If frog.y is less than, I'm going to set my barrier at 150. So when frog.y gets up to 150, I want the velocity to send it back down. So now we press the up arrow, the frog is going up, 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 up. It gets to 150 and goes back down all on its own. And all I did was press the up arrow. Cool. Let's move on to number 12. So in 12 here, when it finishes loading. So now here in 12, we need to use velocity x to make the mushroom move left across the screen. Hint, should it start moving at the very beginning and never change? Yes, so it should start moving at the very beginning and never change. We don't need to tie it to user input, so it should be outside of the draw loop. We don't need to put it in the draw loop because it's not reacting to user input. We don't need the loop to be reading the code. All we need to do is set outside of here. Where's my mushroom? Put this up here just so it's organized. Mushroom.velocity x gets -2. I run my code, and the mushroom moves across the screen. And we're going to learn soon how to make that collision turn into something. That's lesson 16. Cool. So let's move on to part 13, last part of this block. All right, so the game would be more fun. The frog could jump more than once. You can make the mushroom loop by checking whether it moved past the left edge and moving it back to the right edge. So this is a lot like what we saw back in part 8, how that fish was moving back and forth. I'm running out low on time here, so I'm going to drop the code in. I'm going to pause, drop my code in, and then explain the code. So this is what your code looks like now. Oh, so this is actually very simple. So I just need to find the if statement that checks whether the mushroom has passed the left edge. That's this here. My left edge, x0 here. So this is actually when x gets -30. So it's kind of letting it go off the screen a bit before moving it to the right. So all we have to do here, if mushroom.x is less than 30, all we have to do is take the velocity and change it to a positive number. So mushroom.x gets 2. So it starts the code right away. It's starting in a negative way. I can jump. And then when it gets to the left of the screen, it's going to bounce back and see how the mushroom comes back. This has nothing to do with the frog's movement. The mushroom is moving on its own. The frog is responding to me pressing the up button. And that's all for lesson 15.